Hey! It's been almost 12 months after the release of this body, the DJI Mavic Air, and for the time being, it has established itself as probably the most portable, good-shooting 4K drone for videographers and photographers. And I guess it's time for a recap. So the 3 best and the 3 worst features, as well as the 3 most useful accessories. Let's get started! Brilliant 4K drone with 3-axis stabilization, relatively good price and features which are suitable for beginners as well as for more advanced videographers/photographers. And it's the drone I most often flew with, and well, you can see the channel yourself. I tend to use a lot of drone footage. It looks brilliant and I truly enjoy seeing things from bird's eyes and from a different perspective. Most of my experience with the Mavic Air is positive. Of course, I do have some remarks because like every piece of tech, it has strengths and weaknesses. It is an extremely stable and durable drone, and if you're looking for portability, nothing can get anywhere near it. And although now people talk more about Mavic 2 Pro, possible Mavic 2 Enterprise version and so on, it is still hard to beat the video quality of the Mavic Air, and I can't see it being outdated in the next couple of years either. Probably that still is the DJI product with the best ratio of bang per buck. Although, yeah, that's a topic that raises a lot of discussions because some other people may have a different opinion, and I know that some passionate discussions can occur. So let's stay on topic and keep it quiet. And let's switch to my favorite top 3 features. Number 1, portability, which is brilliant and fabulous, and in my opinion, hard to beat with the current technology at the moment. The Mavic Air is almost big pocket size, like take a big jacket and there you go, done. DJI have learned a lot from the shortcomings of the first Mavic, and now the carrying bag is sort of a hard case, and it can even host the remote controller, which conveniently has detachable sticks, so the absolute sanitary minimum for flying for about 20 minutes looks like that. Even if you forgot your microSD, DJI has you covered with internal 8 gigs, and this is the most portable 4K camera drone with a 3-axis gimbal ever. Secondly, I truly love the video quality. 100 megabits per second in 4K resolution is quite a thing. The amount of comparison videos with the original Mavic is countless, and you can see different people pointing to different strengths of both, and putting any competition aside, very high bitrate, the cine-like color profile allowing good room for post-production, a lot of manual controls, possibility of using lens filters, and the magically stable gimbal. This gives you stunning footage and unlimited potential. Okay, almost unlimited, as the sensor is not quite big, but is big enough to perform brilliantly in daylight. You can use this drone for stock footage, wedding photography, capturing memorable moments. Every single bit of the recording will look professional and with excellent quality. If you're switching from the Pro to the Air, in some ways, at least from feature side, it could be a downgrade because there are some of the manual controls missing. The focusing options are unavailable, and if shooting photos, no horizontal panorama feature, which is also missing with the Mavic 2 Pro, for example. Now switching to the third main subject, the software. And Mavic Air was the first to introduce the so popular boomerang and orbit movements, and they have easily turned into a trademark of DJI, like all of a sudden everyone was using them. Something similar happened to the Mavic 2 and the dolly zoom effect. The software of the drone is very capable, like if your footage is not cinematic enough, you may change the frame rate, the resolution, the shutter speed, the ISO, the gimbal reactions. You can change the overall flight performance, and you have a lot of sensors to support your safe flights, avoiding crashes and letting you know if there are any obstacles. You may find online tons of tutorials to guide you through the features that you don't understand, and if you're looking for the basics, most of the things have default or auto settings, so it is easy to understand, good logical flow to configure, and easily covering features that even more advanced videographers will be happy with. Now, the 3 worst features. And I know, talking about the first one, there would be at least a few people that would tell me it's my own fault, that I need to read better, it's well described in the user guide and so on. Well, if too many people are complaining from the same thing, maybe there's something wrong with it. So even after a year, I still do that wrongly from time to time. And it's probably a matter of a few millimeters to make this right. So possibly DJI could have done a slightly better job with the folding mechanism of the Mavic Air. It's not a deal breaker, not even a serious problem, but if someone asks me to point one thing that really annoys me about the Mavic Air, yes, that's certainly the folding mechanism. The second thing is the disadvantage that we have with the transmission protocol, which is boosted Wi-Fi. As a technology, this kind of transmission does a lot of error checks, which require regular consistency checks of the transmitted packets, as well as bidirectional communication, which results into poorer range and a little more lag. Usually flying within the range of half of a mile, you will hardly feel any complications, but if you're pushing it to the limit, then you will certainly start feeling some drops. The more annoying part are the regulations in some regions like Europe and Australia, where in order to be compliant with the local requirements, the transmitter is being underclocked. A few months ago I have presented you a very easy to follow tutorial of how to switch your transmitter from CE mode to FCC mode, and you can check the link over here. Practically you need like 5 minutes. The transmitter, the drone and an Android device. It works also on iPhones, but it's a bit more complicated there. Being in FCC mode significantly improves the range if you fly, especially in Europe. But even with that enabled, you can see a clear difference between the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro. But as mentioned, in short to mid-range occasions they have very similar performance, and AuguSync, while it is much more advanced, it is also based on a modified Wi-Fi stack, so it can also drop. To sum it up, yeah, make sure to run in FCC mode. Try to be running in the 5.8 G scale, because usually it doesn't have that much of interference, and if possible make sure to select a custom Wi-Fi channel, because this usually has a better performance. A third disadvantage, I can't easily say. Not that there aren't any, of course this drone has other disadvantages, but they're mostly minor, like the inability to charge from a power bank or the stupid gimbal cover. You know, that's gonna be you. You're gonna be helping me with picking the third main disadvantage. So let's do this. Tell me in the description below which is the third big feature disadvantage of the DJI Mavic Air. I'm curious to find out about what you think. Maybe something you've watched online, something you've been told by a friend, something that you have experienced by yourself. Share with me using the comments which are right below the video. And that gives us a bit more room for speaking about accessories. Starting with the first one, a camera drone with very good video quality, a lot of manual controls, including control over the shutter speed. So yes, it makes very good sense to take advantage of, you're right, lens filters. Perhaps you know, and you're using the shutter rule. If shooting at 30 frames per second, then your target shutter speed is 60, and on a very bright day it is impossible to happen without using any kind of ND filters. Shooting at optimal levels of brightness and shutter speed will give your footage the so good appealing motion blur, as well as better ways to color grade and sometimes even more details. I have tried a few different packs and tend to lean towards the pack of Freewell. There are a few different types, which include ND or NDN polarization and CPL filter. For installation, you will have to unscrew the original lens and then carefully screw them. This means that unlike some other brands, these are very well attached to the camera and there is no chance to fall, and you can still use the gimbal cap. The build quality of these filters is outstanding, and the price, luckily, is not as high as the models offered by Polar Pro. And I believe in terms of quality that you can achieve during shooting, they are quite close. My second favorite accessory is the travel bag. This one is actually customized and has a very funny story. I was actually planning to buy a Mavic Pro 1 first, and yeah, very weirdly I started with the accessories, so this carrying bag was the first one that I bought. Then, after I decided to go for a Mavic Air, well, this bag was sort of useless, so I thought maybe I can somehow customize it. And it turned out to be the best DIY case I've ever seen about the drone, although the modifications were just slight. The big benefit is that now I can carry with me the hard case, which is detachable, and I can place also 4 batteries in total. It has space for the controller, the cables, the protectors, the accessories. Honestly, having this carrying bag when I'm traveling somewhere makes me feel like I have access to all the gadgets of Agent 007 very easily. And I'll, of course, put a link to this one in the description below the video. Nothing fancy, in fact quite a cheap one, but offers the ultimate protection except for being waterproof, and is quite lightweight. Third accessory: should you need a larger screen, you need a better way to attach a tablet to the remote controller. So it is this tablet bracket. Easily snaps in and an iPad fits perfectly nice. So do a lot of other tablets, and maybe some of you would feel much more comfortable having a larger screen. That was everything from today's review. DJI Mavic Air, 1 year later. It's unbelievable how time passes. One thing I can say for sure, that now at this very moment I enjoy flying with the Mavic Air much more than I used to at the start. I truly hope that the last few minutes were somewhat useful, especially the practical examples. And if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. It's gonna take just a click of your time and means a fortune to me. My name is Michael, that's the Tech4All channel. It's been a great pleasure to have you here in the past few minutes, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers!